Over the past years, young people have not actively engaged in the leadership positions. Nonetheless, this narrative changed in the 2021 general elections, where young people enthusiastically took up political leadership positions. However, the wave of the young first-time leaders brought forth a gap in their roles and responsibilities, as well as their ability to fulfill the expectations of the people they lead.
When I came here the first time, the first session I had was budget planning. There are things we did not know from Butabika Parish. We did not know that the budget starts from us as leaders. That is something we've taken home as leaders. We got to know that from August to September, we start the budget planning as leaders. So, and I believe as leaders, we are going to take on that.
I think open space has really been key on the work that they are doing. I like that they are focused. If they are dealing with leaders, they find youth leaders.
Upon this background, Open Space Centre designed the Meaningful Youth Participation Program, which got support from the British High Commission. Consecutively for a period of 3 years now, Open Space Centre has implemented the Meaningful Youth Participation Program with the end goal of contributing to the effective, constructive, and meaningful participation of youth in governance and development processes in their communities and the nation at large.
Programs zino ziyambako groups ezo ziba zeeteeseteese okujja okukola ki okuzongeramu. Ensonga eyo ngireeso ginnyonnyola abavubuka okubasomesa biki ebigenda mu maaso mu gavumenti yaffe okulaba ng'etumbula omuvubuka okweyongerako. Abavubuka abo betwongerako beba beeteeseteese abaregisterinze groups zaabwe.
Leaders, more than anyone, need to know information that NGOs probably have all the same. It's very important for leaders to understand how to run processes, because you must admit, when we go to campaign, sometimes you're voted in based on your popularity, and if people forget that there are skills that you need to have. So absolutely, leaders need to have knowledge of policy advocacy, if not for themselves, but to understand what other stakeholders are doing, because they will question why someone wants evidence, probably, but when they understand the use of evidence, there's a point. They'll question why people come at a certain time. When they understand that there's a cycle, it's also on their advantage. Sometimes it's not really about always being on the receiving end. You need to understand your opponents better. You need to understand your allies. So it's very important for leaders to have knowledge on policy advocacy, because that is what they're fighting for. They engage with laws every day. They need to know when to bring the issues of their people. They need to know when not to bring them. So it's imperative that they have policy advocacy knowledge.
Mutuyambyeko tugatako ettaffaali steps zaffe ze tulina okugoberera engeri gye tuyinza okukolamu advocacy waffe obulungi n'okumufollowing up n'okulaba nti oba atuukiridde. Mutugaseeko ettaffaali y'okukola community mobilization. Tubadde tumobilizinga abantu mu community naye nga steps ezimu ze tulina following ezimu tetuzimanyi. Tumaliriza nga tumobilizinga nga tetulina resources, implementation netusumbuwa. Tubadde tulina obuzibu bungi nnyo. Nganze omuntu personally ndiwa NUP era mbadde sibelivingira nnyo mu government program. Naye wenzize wano eno mutubangudde nnyo ne mutuwa n'obukakkamu tusobola okwenyigiramu n'okukunga abavubuka bannaffe ne bafuna mu government programs.
Such information and knowledge is very, very important, because as leaders, they came into this leadership to mobilize their fellow youth, to also guide them of what to do, to also influence them in developing themselves, and also partaking in the government projects that were devolved from the central government to the local government for their own involvement as the youth.
The pilot phase of the project was implemented in Bwaise, Maganjo, and Namataba A parishes, in Kampala, Wakiso, and Mukono districts, respectively. Through the pilot phase of the project, 77 youth leaders were impacted with knowledge and skills through different project activities that included trainings, establishment of youth desks, conversation and advocacy spaces, national youth leadership dialogues, and radio platforms.
There's another thing that really moved me, that was about digital skills. Most of us leaders do things that we do not know are going to affect us in the future. That is something they told us. At times we post things not knowing that they're going to affect your future plan. You might want to be an MP, but then there's something you posted that was against the government that is going to be leading the time.
Information around digital skills is very, very important for youth leaders. because these are futures for tomorrow, and the world is global and we are living in a digital age. So there's no way they can live in this world without understanding how digital skills work, but also try to understand how do they even try to practice digital skills using knowledge around politics and how they can influence and engage with the people that put them in power. So I strongly believe that it's important for them to understand all aspects to do with digital media because it will help them to have their voices even heard more, but also to influence decisions.
So I heard it from Antonio, the digital skills trainer, and we are so grateful to British High Commission for supporting the Meaningful Youth Participation Program. Our main objective is to ensure that young people do not only participate, but meaningfully participate in local government processes.
Against this backdrop, the successes of the pilot phase were extended into the second phase of the project, which were implemented in the parishes of Katosi, Makerere 3, and Chaliwajala in the same target districts of Mukono, Kampala, and Wakiso. Under this phase, 87 youth leaders from the above parishes experienced a difference in their view about leadership and embarked on rightfully executing their duties as young leaders. Among the testimonies attained, parish youth beneficiaries of the project have monitored government programs, especially the Parish Development Model, P.D.M, and have further encouraged other young people to become beneficiaries of the program.
Young people have aspirations. Young people are citizens of this country. So as a citizen with aspirations, it's very important that you understand what the country's aspirations are for you as an individual, but also as a people. And that is why such conversations are important. Conversations like this open doors into discussions around, for example, the National Development Plan for the country. They also open doors into the country's focus, per year for its citizens. And so it's important that young people understand what government is planning for them in terms of the short term, but also the long term, but also understand the role that they play in this entire cycle, and also the role that they play in monitoring government's progress on its aspirations for its citizens.
Additionally, beneficiaries of the project have also driven change in their communities by spearheading sensitization about drug abuse and further organized community cleanups in their respective zones and villages. In summary, for the past 2 phases, Open Space Center has positively impacted 154 parish youth leaders in 6 parishes under 3 districts. Currently, the third phase of the project is being implemented in Kawempe 1, Butabika, Nsanja, and Kalengera parishes. These parishes are in close proximity with the previous project parishes in an effort to drive collective change in parish youth leadership of the 3 target districts. For the third phase, 84 parish youth leaders have just undergone a training that intended at polishing their leadership skills to effectively serve the young people in their communities.
I'm going to first of all thank the Open Space, because I'm going to do the same thing that they've been doing here. What they've taught me is what I'm going to go teach others.
It's more like provoking them to realize what they are.
The training was delivered by experienced trainers in the different fields of local government budgeting, advocacy, digital skills, transformative leadership, as well as community engagement. For the trainings, Open Space Center envisions a group of vibrant, bold, energetic, and motivated parish youth leaders, willing and able to drive for the expected positive change in their communities.
Ekyasinze okuneewuunyisa nze ng'aza omukulembeze male simanyi powers zange ziyimiriddewa ku nsonga ya budget ya gavumenti. Bulijjo mmanyi baatulonda bulonzi ku kyalo kubeera abakulembeze b'abavubuka kikomaawo.
The upcoming activities include establishment of youth desks, National Youth Leadership Dialogue, the Youth Day Town Hall, conversation and advocacy spaces, mentorship and coaching sessions, and radio platforms.